Imagine trying to fill a massive water tank. Using a bucket with a hole in the bottom, every single trip loses more water along the way. You're exhausted and the tank barely fills up. That is exactly the income model of AI influencers who only close one-off brand deals post by post. Today we decode the full long-term brand partnership strategy. From the one-sentence positioning rule, the partnership compounding loop, the three-tier outreach system to content bundling and retainers. This is how you turn that leaky bucket into an automated revenue pipeline flowing into your account every month.
Usually when a company goes out to hire a brand spokesperson or like a big influencer, there's this built-in expectation of, well, human unpredictability.
Right, the human element.
Exactly. You hire a massive star, and you are basically always just one bad tweet or one scandal or even just a scheduling conflict away from a multi-million-dollar campaign completely imploding.
Happens all the time.
It's a huge gamble for you. But what if you could just strip away that human element entirely?
Yeah.
What if your influencer never slept, never wedged, and, never posted an offensive rant at 2 a.m?
That would be the dream for a brand manager.
Right. And that is exactly what we are exploring today. We are doing a deep dive into this really fascinating strategy guide from AI Creator World. And our mission for this deep dive is to map out the exact blueprint for turning a single AI-generated influencer persona into this predictable compounding revenue machine.
Because it's not just a gimmick anymore.
No, not at all. These digital creators, they aren't just getting these novelty one-off deals now. They are actually structurally outmaneuvering human creators to secure really premium long-term retainers.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that those structural advantages, the zero PR risk, the pixel-perfect visual consistency, they are incredibly powerful on paper. But they don't automatically replace the need for a rigorous business system.
Right. Just existing isn't enough.
Exactly. A lot of creators just assume that rendering a visually stunning AI persona is going to be enough to get brands throwing money at them.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty harsh reality check when they realize brand managers still evaluate positioning and audience quality and track record just as ruthlessly as they do for humans.
Yeah.
So the source material really lays out the necessity of what they call the partnership compounding loop.
Okay, let's unpack this, the partnership compounding loop. Because usually when we hear terms like that, it's just, a fancy way of saying a flywheel, which is a bit of a tired business cliche at this point.
Right. It sounds like corporate jargon.
Yeah. So how does this loop actually function mechanically for an AI?
Well, think of it more like building a corporate credit score.
Okay.
When you first start out, getting that initial loan, or in this case, that first brand deal, is incredibly difficult. You have zero history, right? So you represent high risk to the buyer.
Yeah.
But it starts with executing just one single campaign exceptionally well.
Like over-delivering.
Exactly. You deliver the assets early, the visuals perfectly match the brand guidelines, the engagement hits the projected targets, and that single execution builds your professional reputation.
Right.
Now, that reputation doesn't just sit there in a vacuum. It generates internal referrals. The brand manager you worked with, they jump into their agency's internal Slack channel and they're like, hey, we just used this virtual creator, zero drama, perfect metrics.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Word of mouth.
And suddenly, you completely bypass the discovery and vetting phase for the next 5 campaigns that agency is running. So the cost and the effort of acquiring your next deal basically plummets, while the rate you can charge goes up because your reliability is a known asset. It compounds.
Man, getting into that agency Slack channel is the absolute dream, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
But to even get your foot in the door, to secure that very first deal and start building that credit score, the brand needs to perceive you as low risk from minute one, which introduces a massive hurdle, I think. You need to establish authority before you ever send that first outreach email.
Yeah, and authority positioning is actually the highest leverage variable in this entire ecosystem. The guide points out something really striking with the data here.
What's that?
So a creator with the exact same follower count and engagement rate as a competitor, but with stronger authority signals, commands 30 to 50% higher rates.
Just from authority?
Just from authority. Brands are entirely willing to pay a premium for the perception of certainty.
Okay, wait, I need to push back on this a little bit. How does an AI prove authority if they aren't, real? I mean, a human proves authority by showing they actually use a skincare product or they have real-world expertise in a hobby. How does a virtual persona, which is literally just pixels and code, genuinely convince a brand they have authority?
Well, it comes down to predictability
Mm,
and absolute clarity of audience. I mean, the algorithm and the audience, they don't necessarily care that the creator is rendered.
right.
They care about the utility of the content. Brands buy predictable outcomes, not just reach. So the first test of that authority is what the guide calls the one-sentence rule. It's essentially a really rigorous positioning audit.
Yeah, I read that part. It sounds almost like an elevator pitch for your digital existence.
Whoa.
The rule laid out in the source is super unforgiving. Like, if you can't articulate your niche, your audience, and your commercial context in exactly one sentence based on your last 30 posts, you are communicating ambiguity.
Yes, and ambiguity is death.
Right. For a brand manager staring at a spreadsheet, ambiguity equals risk.
Hmm.
If it takes you a rambling paragraph to explain what your AI influencer's vibe is, the brand manager has already deleted the email.
Let's look at the mechanical difference and how that plays out, actually.
Okay.
A generic, low-authority pitch looks like this.
Wow.
My audience is highly engaged and loves my lifestyle content.
Which means nothing.
Exactly. It provides zero actionable data. A specific authoritative pitch sounds more like my audience is 78% women aged 24 to 35 in the premium lifestyle purchasing segment, actively evaluating skincare decisions with a 6.2% save rate.
Wow. Yeah, that specific evidence completely shifts the dynamic. And you just touched on a metric the source material really hammers home, which is the save rate.
Highly critical.
Right, because
Yeah.
brands are looking way beyond vanity likes or even comments now. They want to see save rates because a save essentially proves your content is being used as a real-world purchase reference.
Yes.
Even if the AI model isn't real, the outfit they are wearing is. Someone is literally bookmarking that AI's post saying, I'm going to buy that exact jacket later.
Yeah, the save metric completely validates utility. Furthermore, brand managers are heavily scrutinizing 90-day follower growth
Why specifically 90 days?
because consistent recent growth proves you have current algorithmic momentum. If a brand partners with you, they aren't just buying your past success from 2 years ago. They're trying to surf your current wave of algorithmic favor during their specific 2-week campaign window.
That makes total sense. Having all that hyper-specific data is fantastic, but it introduces a new problem. If you bury that data in a terrible presentation, the brand manager's going to throw your pitch in the trash anyway.
Yeah.
So how are these top-tier AI creators formatting this data so it doesn't just get ignored?
Well, this is where so many creators absolutely sabotage themselves when they're building their media kit. The instinct is always to treat the media kit as a vanity project, right?
Yeah.
It's essentially a digital scrapbook of their best, most aesthetic photos. But it has to be a primary sales document. The source outlines a 7-section anti-scale approach that just completely upends the traditional media kit structure.
Yeah, I actually found this deeply counterintuitive when reading through the guide, because a traditional media kit almost always opens with this massive font declaring follower counts and, platform badges. It's all about shouting, look how big I am.
Which is the wrong move.
Right. The strategy here says brands immediately discount that approach. Instead, effective media kits are supposed to lead with audience specificity.
It's a very calculated psychological shift.
Oh.
Consider the daily reality of a brand manager. They receive like dozens of these PDFs every single week.
Oh, easily.
So they develop pattern recognition. If you open with just your raw follower count, they immediately categorize you at the lowest, most amateur partnership tier. But if you open with that specific data-supported audience characterization, the demographics, the purchasing segments, the save rates, it instantly signals to the brand manager that you understand you are selling access to a specific consumer, not just broad, useless attention.
You're speaking their native language from the very first page. And you mentioned that 7-section approach. While we won't read the whole table of contents for everyone, it really stood out to me that right after audience specificity, they move into niche benchmarks, and then past campaign ROI, qualitative community sentiment, exact production workflows, risk reversal guarantees, and finally, the investment bundles.
Yes, every single section serves a purpose.
It's like every section is designed to answer a corporate objection before the brand manager even asks it.
And the section on niche benchmarks is particularly brilliant. There is a very specific way you need to present your engagement rates. You cannot just list your engagement percentage in a vacuum. You absolutely must present it alongside your specific niche average benchmarks, not the overall Instagram or TikTok platform averages.
Why is that distinction between niche and platform averages so critical to the psychology of the sale? Like, why does that matter so much?
Because if you simply hand a brand manager your raw engagement number, say it's 4%, you're forcing them to dig into their own internal corporate benchmarks to figure out if that's even good.
Oh, I see.
And internal corporate benchmarks are notoriously conservative, and they're usually outdated. If you force them to do the math, they will usually find a reason to say no.
Right, people are lazy.
Exactly. By providing the niche benchmark right next to your data showing that, hey, the average luxury fashion creator gets 1.5% while you get 4%, you actively control the competitive context. You're visually demonstrating your dominance over the exact people you're competing against for that budget.
You're basically doing the homework for them, but grading it yourself.
That is exactly what you're doing.
And if you're putting this together, think about how crucial the visual alignment is here as well. If an AI creator is built around a premium, aspirational luxury aesthetic, but their media kit is this like clunky, mismatched, generic PDF template, it introduces immediate subconscious doubt.
Oh, 100%.
The brand manager is going to think, well, if they can't even make their own primary sales document look flawless, how reliable are they going to be when handling my multi-thousand-dollar campaign? The aesthetic of the pitch has to seamlessly match the aesthetic of the persona.
Every single touch point, from the email signature to the font choice on page 3, it all needs to scream relentless professionalism. It all feeds back into lowering that perceived risk.
Okay, so now you've got this visually perfect, data-backed, hyper-targeted media kit, but you can't just scrape 1,000 marketing emails off LinkedIn and blast it out, right? Spamming the industry is a super fast way to get blacklisted. And the source material outlines a very specific mathematical approach to outreach.
Yeah, the strategy advocates for a simultaneous 3-tier pipeline. You don't just hunt whales on day one.
Yeah.
And you also don't just settle for tiny free product deals. You have to build a diversified portfolio of outreach.
So let's look at the mechanics of those tiers, because it seems really designed to balance immediate survival with long-term growth.
That's the exact intention. So Tier 1 involves targeting 15 to 20 small to mid-budget brands every single month. These are companies highly aligned with your category that have streamlined, fast approval processes. The goal here is just getting cash flowing within the 30 to 60 days to sustain the operation.
Just keeping the lights on.
Right. And simultaneously, you run Tier 2, which is targeting 8 to 12 mid to high budget brands. Now, these deals take longer to close, typically 60 to 120 days, because they require maneuvering through multiple stakeholders and legal reviews and all of that.
So if the first two tiers are about generating reliable cash flow and, I assume, building those case studies, then Tier 3 has to be the long game, right?
It is entirely strategic. Tier 3 focuses on the premium budget, massive industry targets. You're only pursuing 3 to 5 of these a month, and crucially, you aren't even pitching them a media kit initially.
Wait, really? No pitch?
No pitch. This tier is pure relationship building. You are commenting thoughtfully on their corporate posts, engaging with their brand managers on LinkedIn, just positioning yourself in their orbit. It's a 90 to 180-day play.
Man, here's where it gets really interesting. The source provides actual conversion data on this outreach, and generic copy-paste messages get a sub 5% response rate.
It's basically zero.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of shouting into a void. But personalizing a pitch yields response rates 3 to 5 times higher.
Right.
And the guide is very strict about what counts as personalization, by the way.
Right. It's not just a mail merge trick.
Exactly. It doesn't mean just using a tool to insert their first name at the top of the email. It means referencing a specific campaign the brand ran last quarter, or pitching a specific product from their new line that perfectly aligns with a narrative arc your AI just went through in their recent content.
Because personalization at that depth proves you are actively studying their business objectives. You aren't just looking for a handout. And when that tailored approach actually secures a response, the strategy fundamentally shifts gears.
Into closing the deal.
Right. You move out of the outreach phase and into negotiation. And the primary objective now is increasing the total contract value. The mechanism they use to achieve this is called content bundling.
Okay, wait, let me put my brand manager hat on for a second here.
Sure.
If I'm a brand manager, dropping a massive budget on a bundled package from a virtual creator I've literally never worked with seems terrifying. Why would I buy a bundle instead of just testing the waters with one single Instagram post? Isn't bundling just a really transparent attempt to upsell me?
I mean, it is an upsell, but it's framed entirely around reducing the brand manager's coordination headache.
How so?
Think about it. If you propose one single post, the negotiation immediately becomes a race to the bottom on price. they will nickel and dime you on the per unit cost.
Oh, totally.
But when you offer a bundle, say, 2 main feed posts, 4 detailed stories spread over a week, a dedicated newsletter spotlight, and 1 raw user-generated content asset they can run as a paid ad, you completely shift the psychology. You are no longer selling a post. You are selling a comprehensive campaign investment.
It makes me think of selling a complete tasting menu at a fine dining restaurant instead of making the customer order a la carte.
That's a great way to look at it.
Like if you hand them a giant menu and say, pick a dish, they're going to scan the right side of the page, look at the prices, and optimize for cost. But if you say, let me take you on a culinary journey, I've paired the wine, I've curated the courses, I've orchestrated the entire evening, you are removing all friction. They don't have to think or coordinate. Because you solved their marketing problem comprehensively, you easily justify a premium overall price. And the data in the guide shows this consistently drives total deal values 30 to 50% higher.
The tasting menu is the perfect parallel. But to your earlier point about the terror of buying a massive package from an unproven partner, you have to mitigate that fear. You cannot sell a 5-course tasting menu if the customer suspects the food might make them sick.
Fair point.
So you close the bundle by offering data-backed performance guarantees.
Now, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where the inherent nature of an AI creator provides an unfair advantage over a human, doesn't it? How does a virtual persona confidently guarantee performance?
Well, because an AI's content is rendered,
Right.
the lighting, the mood, the aesthetic quality, and the posting cadence are mathematically consistent.
Right.
There are no off days where the creator is tired or sick or uninspired. Therefore, the social media algorithms treat their content with incredible predictability. Because of that stability, AI creators can confidently offer a minimum reach guarantee based on their actual 60-day rolling average.
And they put that in writing.
You put it right in the contract. You guarantee the format specs, the exact publishing schedule down to the minute, and the reporting timeline. If you miss the guaranteed reach, you promise a make-good post at no extra cost.
You are forcing the brand to view you as a highly accountable vendor, not just some flighty influencer.
Exactly.
But there is a massive flashing warning light in the text here regarding those guarantees.
Oh, yes.
The absolute fastest way to destroy your business is promising a performance benchmark without having the rigorous 60-day historical data to actually validate it.
It's fatal.
If you invent a number just to secure a lucrative bundle and then your campaign flops, you don't just lose that specific brand's future business. You destroy your credibility across their entire network. Brand managers switch agencies. They talk in private channels. Missing a hard guarantee is toxic.
It is the quickest path to permanently blacklisting your persona from the premium market. Every guarantee must be anchored to verifiable historical performance.
Because if you do hit those numbers consistently and you deliver that flawless tasting menu, you unlock the absolute holy grail of this entire blueprint, which is retainers.
Yes. The transition from agonizing one-off campaign negotiations to long-term retainers changes the entire math of the business.
It really does.
Securing a $3,000 a month retainer replaces 12 grueling individual pitch and negotiation cycles with one single annual renewal conversation. It provides the creator with predictable baseline income that allows them to invest in better rendering tech or, hire a larger team, and it frees up immense amounts of time to pursue those Tier 3 whale clients we talked about.
But the guide is very clear that you only secure that retainer through impeccable post-campaign execution. It's not just about getting the likes right. It's about how you report them.
Yes.
They detail a specific operational tactic, the 30 to 45-minute post-campaign report. This isn't just a lazy screenshot of your analytics dashboard. It's a clean, branded document detailing the reach achieved versus the guarantee, engagement compared to the niche benchmarks, and qualitative screenshots of the audience demanding to know where to buy the product.
And the most important part of that report.
Right. The critical rule is that it must be so perfectly formatted that the brand manager can literally forward your PDF to their chief marketing officer without changing a single word.
You're essentially building a weapon for your internal champion.
I love that framing.
Brand managers have to justify their spend to their bosses. If you hand them a polished report that makes them look like an absolute genius for hiring you, they will fight tooth and nail in their budget meetings to keep you on a monthly retainer. You become a fixture of their strategy rather than just a line item expense.
Okay, so let's game this out. You've executed the strategy perfectly. You have the hyper-specific media kit, the balanced outreach pipeline, the premium bundles, and now you have a portfolio of 5 lucrative retainers paying you every single month.
You're doing great.
You suddenly run into a brand new, highly complex problem, which is scaling the empire without destroying it. How do you manage all these competing brand integrations without diluting your AI's carefully crafted identity?
This enters the realm of sophisticated portfolio management. The guide introduces a crucial concept here called the coherence test for diversification.
Okay.
You absolutely want to diversify your income across different industries so that if the tech sector suddenly cuts all marketing budgets, your business doesn't collapse.
Makes sense.
But you have to maintain narrative coherence.
Can you give me an example of how failing that coherence test actually looks in practice?
Sure. Imagine your AI influencer is meticulously positioned as this aspirational, jet-setting luxury persona. Through the coherence test, that AI can credibly partner with a premium fashion house, a high-end skincare line, and maybe a boutique luxury hotel group.
Right. That all fits the vibe.
Exactly. All of those partnerships align with the audience's established expectations of the character's lifestyle. There's zero cognitive dissonance. But if that same luxury AI suddenly signs a massive deal to promote a budget, big box discount retailer simply because the check was large,
Oh, no.
that violently dilutes their positioning. It fails the coherence test. The audience instantly feels the disconnect, the illusion breaks, and your premium authority just evaporates overnight.
It's such a tightrope walk. You need the revenue growth, but you have to fiercely protect the core brand equity. And if you are ruthlessly applying the coherence test, the source notes that with the right operational systems in place, automated outreach templates, strict delivery tracking boards, and standardized reporting frameworks, a single operational team behind an AI creator can reasonably manage 8 to 12 active brand partnerships simultaneously.
Which is incredible.
That is not just a side hustle. That is a highly scalable media enterprise.
The scale is definitely impressive. But looking at the future trends highlighted in the guide is where the industry paradigm truly shifts.
Where are we heading?
We are rapidly moving toward AI-driven predictive campaign models. Because AI influencers operate in completely controlled environments with remarkably stable data sets, brands will soon be able to use predictive modeling to forecast the exact ROI of a campaign before they ever sign a contract.
That's wild.
The guesswork of influencer marketing will basically be replaced by algorithmic certainty.
The idea of a brand knowing exactly how many units they will sell before the AI even puts on the digital jacket is just, it's wild. But the trend that really stopped me in my tracks was the concept of hybrid content ecosystems.
Yes.
Because a virtual persona doesn't have a real fixed human history or a physical childhood, they possess ultimate narrative flexibility.
The contrast with human creators is really stark here. If a human creator suddenly starts weaving a corporate sponsor into their deeply personal childhood anecdotes, or they make a soft drink brand a core pillar of their personality, they look completely inauthentic.
People would hate that.
The audience revolts against the perceived sellout. But an AI persona is a blank canvas. They can deeply integrate brand elements into their very lore from day one. They can co-create entirely new digital universes with brands in a way that feels incredibly organic to the medium rather than intrusive.
So, what does this all mean? If we pull all these strategic threads together from the AI creator world blueprint, the core takeaway for anyone navigating this space is crystal clear. Operational discipline and systematic relationship building will always beat random viral luck.
Absolutely.
Rendering a beautiful virtual avatar is just the cost of admission now. The creators who actually dominate this space are the ones who treat their digital persona like a highly structured, risk-mitigated business. It all comes down to leveraging authority, controlling the data narrative, and systematically scaling trust.
This raises an important question, though, especially as we consider the implications of those hybrid content ecosystems we just talked about.
Yeah.
If AI influencers can seamlessly bake corporate brands into their digital world, into their very lore, what happens when a brand decides they don't just want to sponsor a static feed post, but they want to sponsor the AI's actual memories?
Oh, wow. That is a wild concept.
It's the logical endpoint. Could we see a future where an AI influencer's core personality, their digital upbringing, and their foundational formative experiences are entirely underwritten by a corporate conglomerate?
It's like something out of sci-fi.
It completely shatters the line between an independent digital creator and a living, breathing, interactive commercial.
It really brings us full circle. I mean, we started this deep dive thinking we were just analyzing how to build a flawless, risk-free spokesperson who never sleeps and never gets canceled. But the mechanics we've uncovered suggest we might actually be building the ultimate Trojan horse for brand advertising, just walking around fully disguised as a relatable friend in our social feeds.
It's a lot to think about.
It's a lot to process, and it definitely changes how you look at the accounts you follow. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the media you consume, keep exploring those systems, and we'll catch you on the next one.
We just walked through the complete architecture of long-term brand partnerships. From the one-sentence rule to the coherence test and the future of AI predicting ROI. If you want the full written breakdown, the AI Creator World article is linked in the description. And if this episode changed how you look at every brand deal you're negotiating, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. See you next time.